to rabbinical decree, we wouldn't be giving prepared speeches. There would just be a mic up here with random things, so now I'm screwed. I figured I was off the hook. No, I emceed his wedding. I got to make fun of him for 3 hours there. So kind of stories. So this is just going to be some random thoughts. I just wrote down a Temple Sinai brochure in no particular order. I didn't have the pleasure of knowing Phil since he was a kid. I started doing grown-ups with Phil. We met about 12 years ago. He directed a commercial for me for Maple Leaf Chicken, where the woman pours water in the guy's lap for some reason, I remember. But I remember on the set, he came up to me, during the shoot, and he's like, you're a really good writer, we should work on things together. And he seemed like a really good fan of my work. I was all excited. And I remember soon after that, we went out for dinner. He took me for dinner, took me for a drive. He was telling me about how he shoots models in the nude sometimes. And then he took me to a bookstore and he bought me a book on screenwriting. So I mentioned I wanted screenwriting. He bought me a book. I'm like, is this a date? Like, I didn't understand exactly what was going on. Nobody ever treated me this well. But I realized we were just friends. But I was so impressed with how he treated me. Every time I met a girl, for the next 10 years, within a day or two, I'd be like, hey, why don't we go meet my friend Phil? And he would take us out for dinner, or like go over to her house, or to his house, he'd make us dinner. So every girl I've gone on a date with for like the past decades met Phil. I guess they all assume I've only got one friend. But it was to impress the girl, because, look at this cool guy I'm with, he's so much better than me. And also, I guess I really trusted his opinion. I would ask him, what do you think of that girl? And he'd be like, yeah, I don't know. So I'm still single. Let's see, but I remember, I'd only known for a couple of years, and it was my 30th birthday coming up, and I didn't have anything planned, didn't really have any friends doing anything for me, but I remember he emailed me and he said, who's a list of, your best friends, your 10 favorite friends in the world? I'm like, I don't know, I gave him a list, and I was away that weekend on business, and I came back, and he's like, okay, I've organized a party for you, and he invited all my friends to Rodney's Oyster Shack, and everybody came for dinner, and he paid for the dinner for everyone, this expensive meal, and I just remember how special that was. It's not really a funny story, it's just a nice thing he did. He taught me a lot of things. I just have random thoughts, like I'm pretty neurotic, and there's all these things I worry about in life, and he sort of calmed me down on a lot of them. I remember I was trying to buy a home theater system for my TV, so I wanted to bring girls over and have a nice sound system for movies or something. So I knew Phil knew all about this stuff, and I asked him, like, what home theater system should I get? He said, well, what are the options? So I emailed him a couple, and there's this Sony one for $700, and there's this Samsung for $800. It was a big decision for me, and he's like, well, the gold cables that connect my TV to my home theater system, Josh, those cost more than $800. So I realized we were playing in a whole different kind of field. But that kind of reassured me that, yeah, you know what, this isn't a big deal. I can just buy either one. It kind of showed me how to live the good life. I couldn't quite afford to live the good life, but I could appreciate it. I mean, even little things like he told me on an airplane I should bring clean socks, and I can take off my shoes and just put on a fresh pair of socks on a long flight. I remember because I was asking, I was all nervous about flying to Tokyo or something, he told me about this sock trick, and I just thought, oh, that's such a neat way to treat myself. I remember, we've been saying how excited he was about new technologies. I remember he got a new laptop once, and he just showed me, look how fast everything opens. Like, the guy in the store showed me, open this, and you can open like 10 Mac programs at once. And I don't know, every time I open my laptop now, I press something, I go, wow, look at that. Like, I remember how excited he was, and it's a strange thing to remember. I remember that when we were shooting a cheer commercial once, I used him for subsequent commercials, and I thought of an idea for the kid. He was trying to wash his clothes and fade the jeans, but they wouldn't fade because he was using cheer. And I thought, well, what if while he's waiting for them to dry, like he's on a skateboard, so he was going back and forth, and the producer's like, no, we don't have time for that, we're already late. And Phil's like, no, we gotta do the skateboard. And I'm like, and I didn't quite understand the process and timing and budgets and all this, but he really fought for me, and we both got in big trouble with the producer for having this kid in the skateboard shot that we agreed. Let's see. I remember when he was first met Teva, I was with him house, because we were always talking with girls and stuff, and we were both on our laptops, and probably both on JD at the time, and he's like, hey, check out this girl I'm talking to. And I'm like, yeah, good luck with that. And sure enough. So, I mean, that gave me hope that, you know, I can meet a cool girl one day. What else we got? I remember when he first went to visit Tate New Springer in Toronto for the first time, he said, my girlfriend at the time was like, you guys gotta meet us when we come in from the plane over. So he told me to meet him at this restaurant that was near his apartment on Abbey Road or something. And we went to the front door of the restaurant before Philip got in. And the maitre d' looked at me and he's like, yeah, we're closed. And the whole restaurant was full. So when they weren't closed, it was just too fancy for me. But he was nice enough to, when I called him, he's like, all right, we'll go somewhere else. We went to the deli. And we sat with him and Tava. And it didn't matter where we were. It was just nice to meet them. And let's see. Yeah, I remember he liked talking about music he liked, some jazz band. I don't even remember what it's called. It's some guy's name band. And he's just making me watch this all the time in his house on DVD. He's like, look at this band. They've never said a word in their entire career. It's like one word. They sang one word once. I don't even know what the word was. It was like Rutabaga or something. And he was just so fascinated with this band and it didn't make any sense to me, and I hated it. But I just appreciated how much passion he had for this thing, these little nuances, and it made me realize, you know, how much joy you can take in specific little things that you're passionate about. We shot a movie together a while ago. I'd written a couple of short films that took place in a bedroom because another ex-girlfriend of mine had written something, and I was like, I gotta shoot something too. And then he's like, yeah, why don't you write a third thing and we'll make a trilogy? And we shot this together, and then it took months just to pick the music in between the scenes. It was literally like 5 seconds of music, and we, you know, I called in some favors with the sound house. He said, yeah, the music's not good enough. We had to go to a different sound house, and, you know, eventually we picked that specific music, and just showed me how, you know, how exciting it can be to care about your craft so much that you're willing to piss off every sound house in the city, even when you're doing stuff for free. I remember I used to call him for advice on anything, like when my parents were in town once, I'm like, we gotta go for Chinese food. Phil wanted the best Chinese food, I wanted to impress them. And so I called and said, where should we go for Chinese food? He's like, well, the best, you know, I don't have the best, I've got 3 categories of best. There's like, he's got the best for really cheap casual dining, and then he's got the best Chinese restaurant for medium, kind of if you want to spend a bit, but not too much, and then he's got the best really fancy one. I'm like, I don't know, like a medium one. So he always had an answer for everything.